Yeah, so going into onto what actually got me into business was it was just a common day in school, and I was standing in assembly hall board, and our principal comes up there and she's announcing out there that there's MIT is coming in and they're doing this LaunchX program and they selected our school for it, and they were choosing 25 students. So I was it kind of spiked my interest that I hadn't done anything related to entrepreneurship yet, and I was 14, so it was pretty young start definitely, but I was like, why not let me give it a shot and try to get into the club. So I just applied and I had like this interview set up with a few other seniors, and they said that they liked what I had to say about entrepreneurship and they liked the passion they saw in me more than what I had to say. So they were like they got me into the club. And then the next thing I knew was we had 6 months to build a company, which was I think an amazing experience because I went in those 6 months. I think I learned so much, which helped me in the future too. So I mean, starting off, what MIT did was they assigned us with mentors, and the mentors came in, spoke to us about business. But the fun part didn't start till we had to decide an idea on what to build in the company. So I was just sitting and brainstorming ideas, and one day I just went out to go for to cycle with my friends, I think, and that's when I remember my phone's charge got over, and my parents couldn't contact me. So you know how they get worried and everything, so they were all worried, and I came home. I reached home safe, but they were all worried and they were like scared that if something happened to me or and so that's when I got the idea that I know that our phones and our electronic items they have such a low battery and the battery gets over so fast. So why not make a product where the cycle has energy produced when the cycle moves. So why not make a product on the cycle which can convert the mechanical energy of the cycle into electrical energy and charge your phone on the cycle. So right after this, I went and pitched this thing to my friends. And at first, they didn't think we could make it, we could pull it off because we were just 14-year-old kids and we didn't really know what we could do. But I did a little bit of research for 2 weeks and I showed them that we could actually make it. And they were like, okay, fine. You take this and start trying this out while we search for other ideas. So what I did was I started making this product, and we started thinking of how what we could add into the product and what we could do differently than what others have already made. Others had already made this idea of charging phones in cycles or getting that mechanical energy, but what could we do different and what could we learn from it out of the experience? So when we started off, I got this idea of making this box on a cycle because I really enjoy music. So why not have speakers in a cycle? So in that box there were small speakers, and there was a Wi-Fi box which is connected inside the box, and there was a light. And all this ran only because when the mechanic there's a solar panel on the box, on the top of the box, and when we connected the mechanical energy from the cycle, we could get electrical energy to play Wi-Fi, Bluetooth speakers, and also lights on the cycle during the night. And I mean, this sounds unbelievably difficult for someone who's 14 to do, definitely. But I think like what I did was I wasn't ready to give up on the idea because I felt like it could be a great if we made it, it could be something really, really great. So I just went to my friends and I started working on it. I started getting products, getting demo types. Two of
Super.
us out of the six, two of us started believing in it. Slowly the whole group came together and the whole six of us started believing in the product. And that's when I felt like when everyone believes in it, you have this extra motivation to push for it. Like we all tried our best. We stayed up on school nights. We stayed up extra. We our school from our school luckily gave us extra time. They told us that we could take off from some of your assignments and do it a little later because they thought that when we gave us this idea, they thought if we made this, it could be a game changer for a game changer for everyone around. So what, like, the thing is, at the end of 6 months after all the mentoring, all the sessions, one day we did make it. Like it was this one run day we were sitting and we were trying all the methods because we failed like 100 times before that, and we were at the point of giving up on the product. But then suddenly I figured out that there was an issue with our system where we were putting the input and the output. So we just changed that and it worked. And that was when I realized like the most important lesson I think comes from failures, because when you fail in life, you understand so much more than you when you like. when you succeed. Because when I failed the first 100 times in those 6 months, I realized that, if I would have given up, I couldn't have made the product. We were this close to giving up on it, but somewhere in my heart it said that you could make it. So it was just I don't know if it was luck, or I don't know if it was a lesson for me, but I think it was a great lesson because it's made me believe in myself more. It's made me understand that anything in the world is possible if you actually want to do it. And it was just like 5 days before the MIT submission, because if we didn't make it in 5 days, it was all over. It was all done and it was perfectly in time. We made it, submitted it to MIT, and we came first in India. Our group came first in India and the top 100 teams overall in the world. And then MIT sent us scholarship vouchers of $1,000 and saying that our project was really great and they really liked the idea. So it was more than the gifts and more than what we got from it. It was the learning experience which continued with me through my other ventures and through the other things I did after that. And it gave me the extra boost to work harder for everything. And yeah, that's about it, I think.
That's great advice. Also, now since you've done one semester on campus and you're back on campus for your second semester, what is it like in terms of transitioning from Chennai to very cold and very cold weather sort of environment? But more than the weather, the whole transition as an international student, what was it like for you? What support systems did you sort of find and nurture friendships and sort of get engaged on in the community?
Um, we could actually get to know each other and we could actually have meetings with each other. So they would organize all these meetings for people who are joining OSU, and then and then wo- and then we all started getting closer as friends. So I think the most important thing is supporting each other when you go abroad, because you don't know how it's going to be. When I came here first, I didn't know how the experience would be or how the people around me would be. So I was pretty scared coming abroad, saying that I'm going in undergrad, and I don't know how if I get like ragged by students or what. Like you've heard so many stories of ragging in India, but my experience was completely different when I came abroad, because over here, no one actually really cares about what your year is or what year you study in. They ask you is what major are you or what are you studying? Because if you're the same major as them, then they're actually going to help you boost your career. That's what I've learned, because every person I meet out here, and if they're the same major as me, which is finance, they would give me tips and advice on how to do better in finance, and how to make my career better. So I feel like that was a big difference. And I feel like if you grow to what people in the US believe is that if you grow together. And that's what I think can make country developed. Because back in India, there's a lot of competition. What I saw from my personal experience was that people actually had a lot of competition between themselves. But out here, people actually want to grow together. And I feel like that's a great thing too. And that was one of the biggest changes I felt. Of course, talking about the weather on the side, Chennai is a really hot place, and I do miss the weather. But I mean, I'm getting used to Columbus. It's not that bad. I saw snowfall for the first time last week, so that was a great experience, definitely.